This is the largest nuclear war crisis in history. The Indian Army suddenly launched tens of thousands of missiles without a signal. The target is only the Eastern Kingdom and Pakistan. It seems that India wants to come to the Battle of Sindari again. Not long ago, India was developing a super weapon from the founding country and finally completed it. But in the process of transportation, suddenly a missile hit the head car. Then a large number of terrorists attacked the car team. The firecrackers supported the terrorists and caused considerable damage to the guards. Fortunately, the captain responded quickly. He carried a rocket and fired a missile and killed the firecrackers at the top of the mountain. But the terrorists were obviously ready to come. A tank suddenly rushed into the car team. A truck with a super weapon was forced to separate from the car team. In the face of the tank, the guards were only beaten. What's more tragic is that a helicopter also joined the battle. The heavy machine gun on the machine is a pain in the ass to the soldiers on the truck. Soon the entire guard team was destroyed. Super weapons were also taken away by terrorists. When they left, they didn't forget to leave a video to provoke the entire Indian Army, and vowed to bring India out of the map. The Indian Prime Minister was furious when he learned of this. Order the Indian Army to capture terrorists in 3 days and take back the super weapons. But according to the information, the super weapon has been transported to London. In order to complete the task as soon as possible, the general decided to recall 2 royal agents. The boss and the young female agent led them to England. Found the undercover glasses girl in London. Through the glasses girl learned that the super weapon had been stored in a base 50 meters deep underground. And there are heavy soldiers guarding. If you want to get in here, the only way is to blow up a gap in the subway tunnel. The next day, several people split up. The 3 sisters broke into the subway transfer room to beat the transfer man. Then control the subway for a minute. The young man and the glasses girl went into the subway tunnel. There was a hole in the upper part of the underground base. Then the single-handed soldier entered the base. The young man brought a large number of soldiers. The young man threw out a smoke bomb and killed more than 10 soldiers at once. At this time, the 3 sisters also took the opportunity to blow up a hole and drive the car into the underground base. At this time, a masked man suddenly killed and stopped the young man and his group. The 2 of them had a fierce fight. At first, the young man could still face it. A sword with a sharp blade. But this masked man is like a small wall that can't be beaten to death. No matter how badly injured he is, he can revive. And he's obviously stronger than before. A face will turn the young man over on the ground. Just when the 2 were about to be executed, there was a strong vibration in the tunnel. The young man was about to die. With a violent explosion, the soldiers in the tunnel were all turned upside down. Then the old man carried a rocket barrel and walked into the tunnel. Kill a soldier 3 or 2 times. Grab the machine gun for a while. All the soldiers received the lunch. But I didn't expect the masked man to show up again. Even if the 2 of them get together, they're not the same person. At this time, the 3 sisters suddenly drove the car. The masked man crashed out. I thought the battle was over. But in a blink of an eye, the masked man stood up again. The old man just took out the bomb. He blew up the entrance of the tunnel. That's why the masked man stopped outside. At this time, the eyes were also broken. The password of the steel door. A few people went in and found out that there was no super weapon here. Only the 3 sisters were tied to the chair. It turns out that the 3 sisters were the super weapon. The Indian military, in order to prevent the 2 sides of the border from being attacked. After decades of research, they finally made the iron ball intercept system. In order to prevent the hacker attack, they will bring the code straight into the human brain. Transfer the human body as a moving hard drive. Don't say the Indians are still smart. And the 3 sisters are undoubtedly the moving hard drive. At this time, the roof of the house was suddenly blown up. Only with this bomb, throw it into the secret room. A few people were stunned. When the boss and the little boy woke up, the 13th sister-in-law had been taken away. The 2 of them immediately climbed out of the tunnel. The motorcycle was chased up. The 3 sisters blew up the back door of the car with a rocket bomb. The little boy immediately drove the motorcycle and chased it up. A floating jump into the trunk. And the masked man was beaten together. At this time, a helicopter suddenly shot out. The boss behind him was crazy. I didn't expect there to be a masked man. The boss, a speed-up rush to the container, followed by a slide to take off. The motorcycle just hit the helicopter. The boss also jumped on the car. A fierce confrontation was also held with another masked man. The masked man was shot down by the little boy. After a fight, the three sisters were killed in a hurry. The masked man on the top of the car was also thrown into the car. Just when a few people felt that they had been freed, suddenly hit by an armored car to the side of the road. Then a large number of soldiers rushed up. A few people were all caught. At this time, the boss of the terrorists finally showed up. When he took off his mask, a few people looked stupid. It turned out that he was Erha, who was killed by two people because of the rebellion 7 years ago. At that time, Erha used the big boss and the little boy as a model. Want to conquer a super army. But because the super army only obeyed one person, the government to prevent the rebellion from ending this project. But Erha doesn't want his years of hard work returning to the east. So I'm going to sell this result to Pakistan. The government got the news that the big boss and the little boss were killed by Erha. I didn't expect them to be killed. It's just Erha Khan's substitute. At this time, Erha let the two masked men behind him take off their masks. I didn't expect them to be the big boss and the little one's clone. After that, Erha was going to burn a few people to death. But after the price collapsed, the two of them survived miraculously. Where are these little soldiers, their opponents? Plus the eyes and eyes. The god assistant who controls the drone. All the soldiers were killed in 3 down and 5 out of 2. A reinforced armored car rushed straight to the missile base of the Indian Army. After knocking on the door, the Indian Army in front of the base was a bunch of crazy output. The soldiers in the square were all killed in the blink of an eye. The surviving soldiers were also driven into the assembly box. After controlling the entire base, Erha came to the control center with his sister-in-law. Want to launch all missiles to the east. The big country in Pakistan launched an attack to anger the east. Another New Delhi defense war. Let India fall into chaos. At the same time, 4 royal agents were sent to the missile base to stop Erha's actions. A few of them are sitting on a slave transport plane. It's stupid to fly straight into the base. It was soon hit by a terrorist missile. The pilot was killed. Fortunately, the big boss and the little one tried their best to control it. That's how the transport plane landed safely. At this time, Erha is connected to the brain hard drive of the third sister-in-law. Turn off the iron ball system and activate all the missiles. The boss and the little one rushed into the base before the helicopter explosion. The two of them did not avoid a road to kill. Enter the mirror of no one. At this time, 2 Cologne people appeared in front. A few missiles exploded. The big boss and the little one fled everywhere. In the end, they were still blown out. Wait for them to get up again. 2 Cologne people came to their senses. Next is the ultimate confrontation between them and the Cologne body. The 4 of them stand together. It should not be the opponent of the Cologne people. In the end, the boss used a rocket barrel to blow a Cologne person out. The little one also drove to catch the other one. But even so, the 2 Cologne people still came back to life. In the end, there was no way for the 2 to drive them into the high-pressure electric network. Use the high-pressure line to fuel the truck. That's when the Cologne people were completely killed. After that, the 2 came to the control room. At this time, Erha had pressed the start button. The missile was launched. It's been 1 minute. At this time, the 2 people rushed forward to stop them. But at this time, Erha has been genetically modified. The combat power is not generally strong. In fact, the 2 people are not his opponents. In the end, the 2 people cooperated with each other to use the back of the machine gun. That's how Erha was successfully solved. But at this time, the missile was successfully launched after the countdown. Thousands of missiles were fired at the same time. They flew to Pakistan and the Middle East. The 3 sister-in-law woke up at the moment of crisis. Let the little one enter the password and start the iron ball system. All the missiles were intercepted in the Indian border. This saved India from a world war. Hurry up and embrace every kind of life.